Hello, my friends, and welcome to MSP Unplugged's Emerging Vendor Series. I'm your host, Rick Smith. Join us each week as we highlight ConnectWise PitchIT contestants. In each episode, we highlight an emerging vendor who is changing the game and making a big impact on the MSP space. Now, before we get started, I'd like to make a few little announcements. Our normal PSA about our upcoming event here, TechCon Unplugged, which is coming up in September 7th to the 10th at the Delta Hotel in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Now, TechCon Unplugged is our annual gathering of IT business owners, techs, and vendors in the space. At TechCon Unplugged, you will learn from like-minded business owners in panels and breakout sessions, gain key takeaways from partners and vendors in the community. And my absolute favorite part is how I became a member is you get to have those one-on-one spontaneous group conversations where great friendships are built, relationships are cultivated, and ideas are exchanged. Now, tickets are on sale at techconunplugged.com. We ask you to take advantage of our second level of early bird pricing at $299. That is good until June 30th, so 1 month from now. We look forward to seeing you there. Now, as we get started with our PitchIT competition, I'd like to bring in my co-host for this event, a man you should all be familiar with, my friend, Mr. Sean Lardo. He is the ConnectWise Evangelist.
Hey,
how are you, sir?
I'm great, Rick. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
I just did a live stream for ConnectWise a couple hours ago, talking about our certified integrators. They're going to be at Secure because I'm at Secure in just in 3 days from now. I'll be at Secure.
You're a traveling man. You're always out, always on the move.
I just got back from Jamaica, though, on Wednesday. I was on vacation for a few days.
Right. And those are rare, right, when you get some vacation time?
Dude, you're telling me. I still worked, of course. I had work to do, but not that much. But yeah, I mean, I seriously, first time in Jamaica. I'm contemplating quitting my job and just being a taxi driver in Jamaica. Well, dude, okay, so the exchange rate is 150 Jamaican dollars to $1 US, right? That's the exchange rate, okay? So you do the math. Cabbies are charging regular American rates on rides. Like literally, like, and so like the one driver we had, his name was Bob, of course, because why not? It's Jamaica, Bob. And and I said to him, yeah, so where do you live? He's like, oh, up in the hills, right up, in the mountain. I was like, oh, cool, whatever. And I was like, he's an older gentleman. And I was like, oh, so I said, property wise, how much does it run in your area? He's like, about $500,000 or $600,000 US dollars. I was like, so you're a taxi driver in Jamaica and you bought your property for $600,000. I got to be a taxi driver.
He's like, I need a new job.
I'm leaving. I don't care.
I found my calling.
Dude,
wow.
He even pulled out a bag of weed. He's like, you want some of this? And I'm like, oh my God, you have the greatest job ever.
Okay, so we can't find Sean. We know where he's gonna be.
I'm gonna start taxi cab confessions again in Jamaica.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So no, next week, IT Nation Secure starts on Monday. I'll be there. I have a couple of speaking sessions. As a matter of fact, big thing to talk about is I'm presenting a breakout with our CISO, Patrick Beggs, and we're gonna be breaking down the stack of cybersecurity. How you actually define your cybersecurity stack to really be a security provider, not a pretend one, not one that's not sure, but literally breaking down all the different segments of stuff you need to have and what technologies are applicable to those too.
Cool.
Shit, yeah.
And that's where we all need to be. It's like you said, not a fake one, but a real one, right? Yeah, because it's easy for us to say, hey, I do cybersecurity, and then a lot of people halfway define it, or they only take a piece of what true cybersecurity is.
Exactly. Is there between a contractor and a handyman?
Absolutely.
So,
all right. So let's get on track here. Tell us a little bit about PitchIT and what's going on.
Sure. Yeah, PitchIT. Speaking of PitchIT and IT Nation Secure, we have a bunch of them that are sponsoring down there, and they'll be part of the keynote conversation. We'll be PitchIT.
Cool.
What PitchIT is? It is a Shark Tank concept, we know, where we're looking for startup vendors that are in the space, in our space, that are complementary to ConnectWise and to our partner base, right? So they have to be providing a service or product that is either that's for the MSPs or for TSPs, whatever you want to call it. But again, this is a competition, but also it's an accelerated incubator program also, because we're not looking for people to be a coin operated business that fly by night. We want them to invest time, effort, and reinvest money into the space to make it more successful. Now we know that at the Shark Tank part of it, we have 3 finalists that will actually, we have 27 vendors in it right now. They'll go through this 16-week incubator program. We will go through preliminaries with Matt Solomon on the channel program. And when we do this, it'll be a 3-day virtual pitch off happening live, where we are going to be having MSPs that are going to be watching this and voting. And then they're going to have a separate pitch they have to do for our other coaches, which are integrators. They are GMs from ConnectWise, or a bunch of everybody. And from that, we're going to pick 3. So we're going to wait on MSP voting and from the judges. We will pick 3 finalists. The 3 finalists will carry on to IT Nation Connect, and they will pitch live on stage. And last year we had over 400 or 500 people that watched there. And for the prize of $70,000 for first place, second place is $30,000, third place you get a Jelly of the Month club.
That's big nice.
Exactly. And so that's what this is about. But again, the important thing though is the real takeaway is that this accelerator incubator program is about them going through workshops every week and learning, getting like a gap analysis almost on a variety of things, from mergers and acquisitions to sales and marketing to whatever, integrations, whatever. But also doing things like this with you guys, recording videos, getting their exposure so they can start to grow a business, because we want them as long-term partners in the ecosystem. We want them to have staying power. They integrate with ConnectWise. So it makes it easier for partners to use ConnectWise and them. That's the important thing. We're trying to, relieve some friction.
I hear you.
So
as we know, we've been through it a little bit, seen a couple of contestants, and I know from last year, this is a great process. It's a great program, and the contestants get to learn a lot and they get to grow a lot. So let's bring on, without further ado, let's bring on today's guest, which is Miss Karla Reffold, of Orpheus Cyber. How are you, Karla?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. For our audience who don't know you, I know you've been doing this a little bit now, but tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us a little bit about Orpheus Cyber.
Sure. Well, my background is I've grown a couple of businesses in cybersecurity and sold those. I moved to the US about 3 years ago. So despite the accent, I'm out here in Virginia. And I've been with Orpheus for about that amount of time too. So Orpheus does external attack surface management, third-party risk management, and vulnerability prioritization. And kind of the crucial bit along all of that is that it's threat intelligence led. So threat intelligence is at our core.
Nice. So wait, you're in Virginia right now?
I'm in Virginia, yeah.
Whereabouts in Virginia?
I'm in Northern Virginia, in a little place called Leesburg.
Well, my oldest daughter moved down that way outside of Richmond. I told her she's a traitor. She left me. But other than that, though, it was a very nice area. Anyway, sorry. So
it's beautiful, yes.
It is beautiful. It is actually the weather. I mean, okay, so Rick and I, he's in Jersey. I'm in Pittsburgh. We get nice weather from time to time, but Virginia it's weird. You're literally a few hours away, but the weather is so much better.
Yeah, it's different.
It is different.
Yeah.
Anyway,
my daughter's in DC, so.
Anyway,
we're not far.
Enough of our demise now. Moving on to Orpheus. How long has Orpheus been around for?
So we're about 6 years old, but we started and are headquartered in the UK. We've been in the US for about a year and a half. And I've spent a little time around the MSP industry trying to learn what the MSPs want, because I think it's very clear to me now, like MSPs need something different from cybersecurity vendors. I feel like a lot of vendors don't get that and don't take the time to listen. So we've been listening for a little while and sort of soft launching for maybe around 6 months.
Okay. And are you exclusive to channel only MSPs you're working with?
No, so we do work with some enterprises. So some of our solutions are really good for insurance, and obviously big hot topic for MSPs right now with insurance. So we help some of the insurers underwrite some of those risks, but my focus is really MSPs.
Gotcha. Your focus is MSP. So what exactly is your title again?
So I'm the COO. So I'm COO of Orpheus in general, and my focus is growing America.
Nice. And you're focusing only on the MSP space. You yourself.
Yes.
Basically.
Me personally, yes.
Okay.
Wow.
You made an interesting comment, and I'd like you to elaborate a little bit. You said you focused on, or you researched and found out what MSPs wants. Could you elaborate on that a little bit? And what did you find when you did that research?
So some really basic things, right? MSPs want to have flexibility in how they pay. They want monthly pricing, preferably per seat. A lot of companies come in and don't price that way. It seems like a no-brainer. It's like, let's tell to you how you want to be sold to. So we did that. We're now multi-tenancy as well. Our platform's multi-tenancy. That to me seemed to be again a deal breaker for companies to work with us. And what I've seen in the time as well is how quickly the industry is maturing, how quickly like MSPs are getting really good at cybersecurity. So some of the solutions that I felt were maybe a little too mature a few months ago, I think companies are starting to put in place those programs, things like third-party risk. I see more of those conversations happening.
Okay. Yeah, I asked that question because as an MSP, a lot of times, and I think you make some great points because we do like the pricing flexibility. We do multi-tenancy is always important because we need to make things easier. And as an MSP myself, I just think that's important that, like you said, that as a vendor, you go out, you talk to MSPs or you do your research and find out what's important to us before presenting us with a product and say, hey, this is going to solve your issues. But there's always those underlying issues. So I just appreciate the fact that, that you guys do the research on that. Now, coming to ConnectWise, to the PitchIT competition, I know that there's intense training, there's learning. You guys, tell us what that experience has been like.
So we're a couple of weeks in. It's really good. It's been really great. Like we have done other accelerator programs because I know the competition element's there, but I'm looking at this as like, how can we learn more and better serve the industry, right? And it's great because it's mature. I'm learning a lot. I've sold 2 businesses and yet still I'm learning something by going through this process. So far I've been really impressed and really happy with what we're doing and kind of putting that time and effort into it. It's been a great experience so far.
Good. And there is no other incubators like us. Okay. We're the only one. We're the greatest. No, and I'm glad you see it that way too, because, and I'm glad you've had experience elsewhere. When we revamped the program last year, it was more about leveraging the resources out there in the space of people that are exceptional at their job, the practitioners. So if you noticed, all of your people that you've seen so far are people that are actually practitioners in their whatever their discipline is. So you can challenge what you want, but they're going to show you their line of success and everything you do. So we tried that, and it's difficult to know what you don't know for any of you guys. So we kept it as general as we could, but I think like the Cameo codes we had are really good. With that so far, is there anything that you've picked up that you mentioned you learned you learned a few things? Like, is there anything that you learned that you would suggest to people to pay attention to so far?
So the session we just did, and I don't know how this is going out with timing wise, but around how you assess, is that client right for you? Like, are they at the right maturity level for what you want to sell to? Are they the right size? Like I would call it a buyer persona. But it's a slightly different way of thinking about it. And I thought that was great because actually this market is a huge market, right? And I think it's too big to go just say, I target MSPs. Like, let's niche down on who will actually benefit from working with us. And who do we want to work with too, of course, but like who's really going to benefit from our solution, because it's probably not going to be the whole industry. So I found that session really useful for how we think about it.
Totally appreciate that. And for those that don't know what she's referring to, operational maturity level is an important thing in the MSP space. Operational maturity level dictates where you are as a business, because, and Rick, you're probably a victim of this, a culprit of it as well, where you go to a conference and you buy 5 different products, but you use one. because you got excited. You're like, oh, that makes sense. We could do that. Now, if your operational maturity isn't at the level where you can actually deliver this on these things, you shouldn't buy them, right? But most people don't know where they are. They just in the way, and when you're talking to a person at a conference, a vendor, they make it sound so easy to use the product because it's one dimensional for them.
Right.
And it is easy, but it's a matter of you having time and people, you know? So you're absolutely right, Karla. So with that said, then have you been able to pinpoint who your target audience is now, operational maturity wise, or do you have an idea? Is it everybody or just a segment or what?
So it's not everybody, and I'm going to forget all the proper words that came out of that session right in this moment. But I think it's those that are slightly more mature, that have some baseline security, that are maturing their security processes for their customers, because our products they're probably not stage 1, they're probably stage 2 or 3 for where you are in your security journey. And that, I don't know that matters then how big you are, how big your clients are, but I think it matters for where you are in your security journey.
Especially in operations, I think operations is a big part of that. And you're referring back to the modes concepts, which is the startup, and then the balance builder, value builder, empire builder. So you're probably more in the value builder, empire builder people is more than likely your persona.
Yeah, I think so. Unless, and I guess there's going to be some anomalies out there, right? Like where that isn't right, but where you are really good at security and you want to maybe make that transition and you've got really good security processes in place. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, good, Rick.
No. I was just following along. As an MSP, this interests me because I need to know that vendors know not only how to sell to me, but when to sell to me, right? And this is great about operational maturity. And a lot of times, sometimes as an MSP, we do something we alluded to in the beginning, Sean, is like we say we do cybersecurity, but we do this part of cybersecurity and not this part of so now, when we have vendors who can help us to talk us through, okay, you're here, your next stage could be here. And then it's not necessarily, we appreciate that you and I have this conversation all the time.
Yeah.
I always want to do business with people I know, like, and trust. So if someone tells me, hey, this is where you are based on our conversation. I don't necessarily know if you're ready for our product yet or what we offer, but maybe the next step for you is this. I get to appreciate that. And, and then when I am ready for that next step, you're going to be the first thought in my mind because you were honest with me. You didn't try to sell me something I couldn't use at the time I wasn't ready for.
You did,
and that's important.
Yep, absolutely. So let's talk about that, Karla. How do you engage with the MSPs? How do you, when you're working with them, how do you guys engage and how do you help them to implement what you guys do?
Well, I think just to what Rick said, like here's a good example of how we would do that. So one of our products is around vulnerability prioritization. So the CVSS way of marking vulnerabilities essentially is fundamentally flawed, and we have a different way, and we can predict which vulnerabilities are going to be exploited in the future. But if you aren't doing vulnerability scans for your clients yet, you don't need prioritization. Like that's too much for you. And that's my first question. Like, what are you using to scan right now, or are you scanning? Because if the answer is no, then exactly to your point, you're not ready for us yet. Let's talk when you've maybe got another step along your journey. So for me, it's asking those questions about what you have, where you're at. And then we talk about our products in not what they do from a security point of view, but like how do they either save, keep, or make you money? Like that's how I've started to think about our products. Like how can I make this commercial for you?
I love that.
I can be Rick brainwashing.
Yes. So, okay. So first you help identify if we're a good fit. Great. Appreciate that. Then you identify how I should apply your product. Because like you said, if you're not doing this, then it's irrelevant to do this. The end. Yeah. So let's say we're a good fit then. What do you do with me to ensure I'm successful?
So what I really want to do is help you to then get your clients on board, because the vulnerability piece that I just mentioned, that's a saving you money thing. So we can help make you and your clients more secure by doing less work. So that's a saving you money thing. But if we want to talk about how we make you money, then we're looking at maybe like a third-party risk program. So we have a couple that are starting to launch that for their clients. But this is a new concept sometimes for clients to you guys. Often that conversation comes back, I'm too small. I don't need a third-party risk program. And there's some reasons why you might have some pressure on that. But we have a whole way of supporting you on how you go sell that to your clients. So we have all the materials you might need. We'll try and teach you how to sell it. We'll come sell it with you if you need us to. You know, webinars, white papers, all that sort of stuff is kind of there to help support you in that journey.
So you're providing enablement across the board for us to grow, for the MSPs to grow. Okay.
Yeah.
What about as far as supporting of the customer? Who's handling implementation and ongoing support?
So that's kind of up to the MSP how they want to do it. Our products are pretty easy to implement. We can be up and running in minutes, you know, maybe hours if it's larger, but it's really quick, and we think it's pretty user friendly. But if you need more support, then you know we have a team of people that will support with that too.
Gotcha. That's cool. And now, is this like, will the customer see your guys' logo places? Do they see your insignia anywhere, or is it just run in the background?
So right now, yes, but white labeling is an option. We just haven't had anyone decide they want a white label yet.
So what will be the benefit of white labeling with you all?
I mean, I think the benefit is just to the MSP. Like we don't mind being like really frank. Like we don't mind about having our logo everywhere. So if it benefits you and that's how you want to buy from us, then that's how you want to buy. Like to my earlier point, I'm going to sell you how you want to buy something, not how I want to sell it.
So for the MSP, is there a benefit to them being white labeled other than the fact that it's just their logo on more places?
I don't really think so. I think it's just their logo and their preference. There's no kind of additional service.
For us, I think we're a little, territorial. And I guess when you're spitting out reports or telling people, you know, here's what we found and what's going on, and you give them reports, we do like to have our label on it or our logo on it. So it looks like it comes from us, even though, you know, it doesn't necessarily do that. But, so I guess for us, that is what we see as the benefit from it.
Yeah,
I can see that. I'm just wondering, like, if future plans, if they put their logo on there, then they're probably going to provide all the support too. So will you guys dabble into maybe turn it into a marginal thing where they get a discount or anything along those lines? Is that something that's on the table for being white label if they take you completely out of any kind of responsibility or liability?
you know, like it's hard to answer because we haven't got that far in the journey yet. But I think all things are on the table, lesson. Right?
I'm totally pushing on an avenue we did not talk about even talking about. So I'm just thinking about it because as a business owner, they're going to want to ask those questions. Are you a commission-based program? Are you a referral program? Are you OEM? Are you a white label? I mean, those are all the questions you hear all the time. But I do like the fact that you're providing the enablement of the sales, the marketing, stuff like that they need or even being on the call or whatever it may be. And I do like that you're also offering the support if they want it for, you know, even if they want a white label too. So I think that's pretty key.
Now,
and there's some limitations, right? Like some of the stuff that we score or we do, like, you know, we're creating that. You're going to need some of our support at some point. Like there's not a cost to that. That's just how we provide the service.
Sure. I love it. I think it's great. Go ahead, Rick.
And it's always important that we can, I got to have somebody I can pick up and call when I got a question, or I can email or however. I prefer calling, but whatever. But the next part of that is, you know, we were talking about operational maturity level, talking about who your target, as you're figuring out who your target market is in the MSPs. Have you come across, is there a particular size, and I don't mean MSP size, but customer size that of people who normally mature to or are ready for your product? Does that make sense the way I'm asking it?
Yeah, it does. I don't know that I have enough data to be able to answer that like properly. Because right now the focus has been on MSPs of kind of roughly this size. So, you know, maybe you're kind of 10 plus people, you have you're further along in that security journey. that tends to be where, we're seeing a fit. So we haven't probably got to the point where we're having to talk about customer size. I guess one of the things we're seeing, like particularly around that third-party risk piece is, are your customers regulated? So the people that are interested in that have regulated customers where they have that need. But I am hearing more of those conversations among people who have customers that aren't regulated too. So I think that's coming down the line.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask this again, strictly as a selfish MSP asking a question. I understand, and this is recent for me, I understand what true vulnerability scanning is. Tell me what third-party risk is.
So third-party risk is the suppliers that you work with that provide perhaps critical or not critical support to your business, that have access potentially to your systems or could stop your business from operating if they had a cyber incident. So you're so interconnected these days with your suppliers. Like, who are the critical ones that if they don't function, you don't function? And then how do you know what their security is and how likely they are to suffer a cyber incident that could affect you?
Okay. And I could see that as being, again, a more mature product, but a very necessary one, right? You need to be a little more mature in the stage, but a very necessary one, depending on who you support.
Now,
how many
okay,
people
but
you're supporting.
Let's use the mature concept here, right? As the conversation piece. If I'm an MSP that may not be fully mature, but I already have clients that are mature at that level, would it be beneficial for me to say, hey, I should work with you guys? Because I kind of need what you're doing for the client.
Yeah, I think so, because the benefit of our pro piece there is it's really scalable and quick, and you don't need very much implementation. We just need a list of, say you have a very mature client that needs this, they just need to give us a list of the suppliers. We do everything else. It's done within an hour. So yeah, you probably don't need to be that mature if your clients are mature and are asking for it. We can really support there.
Perfect. Yeah, because I mean, we know, Rick knows too, there's lots of MSPs that end up with big clients.
Right.
Happenstancely. They're like, holy hell, I got this big client, right? And then they start to scramble, right? And because they're not fully equipped. So you guys offer the ability for them to be not fully equipped, but headed there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a concept that MSPs are probably more familiar with being on the receiving end. You're probably getting requests from clients or clients' saying, well, what does your security look like? And what does what does your IT look like? So you're probably used to seeing some of this, but you're just not used to passing it down. And what's really going to be coming next from those large enterprises is that they want you to pass it down. Knowing who you are and how good you are is not going to be good enough for them anymore. They're going to want to know how good your suppliers are. So it's coming your way.
I love that. All right, good. I'm sorry, Rick, I'm taking over. So go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. No,
okay.
I'm absorbed in the conversation, just listening and learning.
Awesome. So let's go back to the competition now. How are you feeling about your chances in the competition?
I don't know. There's a lot of companies in there. Like going from 27 down to 3, there's some tough odds. So I don't know. I'm really passionate about our product. I love what we do. And actually, if we can reach more people and help them with their security, and we don't end up in the top 3, then I'm okay with that too. So I don't know. Did I avoid the question good enough there for you?
I mean, you did a really good job at that.
Let me
good.
Talking about the competition and you guys all, do you have, and I know you're only 2 weeks in, right? But are you guys finding a synergy or a camaraderie amongst yourselves? Even though you're competing, you're still, you're all vendors and this is a small community. Here's a better way to say it. Are you making friends?
There you go.
So we just got our sort of team space today. So yeah, I'm hoping we can start making some friends from here. Yeah. Because we've done that over the past few months. Some other vendors, one of the companies from last year, we've had some some really good conversations with them about how we could be complementary. And I'm really interested to see like the other companies and actually as their complementary solutions where we could bundle and work together. Like I think that would be another great outcome of being in this process.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what she's referring to, Rick, by the way, we created a Teams environment for them to all with a SharePoint central repository for all the content, all the trainings, everything for them. And we brought them on as they all have guests. They're all guests in our team space now, so they can all chat, just like if you're using Slack or something. And it's a cohort where they're all involved. The coaches are on there. Everybody's on there. This way they can ask questions of anybody and just, it makes it's the same as like when we're all on Facebook and those MSP groups, right? It's difficult for me to answer questions for everybody. And some people have, if she has a question, so do 9 other people. So it's good they're all able to ask the question together and collaborate.
Right. Yeah, I just think it's just, I know you all are competing for this money, for the exposure, but the learning that you get, I'm sure. I just was wondering if it just will work to bring you all together. But it's like you say, you guys are new. You just started this portion of it, but there's got to be a lot of I would imagine there's going to be a lot of strategic advantages to partnering with other people in other situations and just making friends. Like I like, again, Sean told you, we met at a conference, and all of those vendors that are at most of these conferences, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of them are very friendly with each other. They laugh.
Well, we're like, you become carnies. You're muted, Rick. You muted yourself, by the way. We become carnies together. Because when you travel a lot, and Karla, if you guys really get into the circuit of it, and I'm sure because you were at Right a Boom, and you saw vendors, they still haven't seen each other twice a month for, they see each other like 10 days a month total, and you literally start traveling together. You're comparing notes on what conference you're going to, where the best, like who has the best barbecue in that area, stuff. I mean, you literally do all that. So you're gonna be jumping into that. I mean, even our first session that you guys came on for the orientation, I was late for that call because I was stuck on the showroom floor.
It's one of the things that I really liked, like the first conference I went to, is how much like you all share stuff with each other, because where there's no competition, you're in different geographies or whatever. Like I love that about this industry, how willing people are to help, and it's a very unique industry in that you need vendors to exist, right? Like, so, when you're at a conference, you want to hear what we're doing. You want us to be good, like exactly why we're in PitchIT. You want this like industry to be good and to be full of innovation. That's not the same in other areas of cybersecurity or other conferences where, you're kind of the ones that no one really wants to talk to. It's a very unique space, and it's one of the things I love about it.
That it is. And I always say, like, I love this space. The vendors are cool. They're my friends. But I love it because you're dealing with MSPs that are business owners. You're not going through the corporate conglomerate BS that, it's real life conversation about them making or breaking. And instead of you talking about, well, I got to get the budget together for this year, we're all negotiating between departments who gets what of the split of $1 billion. It's more like, I need to figure out how I'm going to pay for my daughter's wedding. So I can't miss. Yeah. So this has to be affordable. It's a real conversation. It's the conversation you have with your neighbor. And that's what and that's why most MSPs are friends.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's what I've seen and I really like it.
And what industry is there that you can walk around with a t-shirt on all the time?
You're wearing pants though, right?
Like I said, who can walk around with a t-shirt all the time?
Okay.
Let's stick to t-shirts.
Yeah. Okay. But as we could, wow, you guys got a little flustered. As we come to a conclusion, I think that's a good note to conclude on there. But Karla, I do want to thank you for your time here today. I want to give you an opportunity just to give some contact information for you or for Orpheus, for anyone who may have an interest in it, anyone in the community here listening, so they can contact you all and get more information.
Like the best place to reach me is LinkedIn, Karla Reffold. I'm pretty sure there's only one of me, so I'm easy to find. And then Orpheus-cyber.com is the website if you just want to go straight to the company.
Okay.
One more
sounds
thing
good.
to add is they are in the marketplace as well for ConnectWise.
Exactly.
And under the PitchIT category, I'll get you the link, Rick. We can put it in all the
Oh,
videos.
it's in there already. We have it.
Oh, perfect. That is
It gets
that's
stuck.
that's one of the easiest ways to do it, because you can just point everybody there and they're going to go right to these guys, to the
Okay,
27
sounds good.
vendors.
Okay.
It's so simple. So, and that's good, because then we can make sure that we're tracking it for them to see people actually attend and come find them,
Cool.
because they're going to later on say, did we get an ROI out of this? Did we do anything with this? And I'm going to say, yeah, look at all this you got.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, yeah. And you guys are doing great. I'm excited to be doing this with you guys, getting to meet new vendors or new. I don't even really want to say new. You guys have been doing your stuff, but just, helping to introduce you to the community. I'm excited about that, seeing your products, and wishing you all the best of luck, and hoping that you succeed with this. I'm rooting for you. I gotta say disclosure. I'm gonna say that to every contestant, but I am rooting for you all. And
that's a typical Cowboys fan. They can't help it.
They can be like, that guy's a traitor. He tells everybody he's rooting for him. But I just think that I am I congratulate you on the opportunity. I think this is a wonderful program, and those who I've talked to who have gone through it have really enjoyed it, and they feel like it has really put their business in a different level. So good luck to you, and I wish you well with that. Sean, any parting words?
I'm looking forward to this. I've learned a lot about cybersecurity over the last year and a half, like crash course on many things, probably like most of the space, let's be honest. So I'm excited to see what you guys turn into. I like what you guys do, but I'm excited to see how you guys develop into this. And something you said about meeting other vendors that you can possibly be complementary to, I think is a solid game plan. I like to see how that turns out. It's like baking a cake. You're one ingredient. I like to see how this turns out at the end. So I'm super stoked.
Awesome.
We'll work on the American football thing too. Don't worry, we'll work on that.
Yeah. We'll work on the soccer thing. Like, I'm calling it soccer for you guys.
I'm good with soccer when they say ole, 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 ole. I'm cool. That's exciting. I got that. Right? I can do that.
Oh, I can teach you some better terms than that.
Okay, but I've heard some that we can't say right now on air. No, there's some.
It's like, I don't know. I laugh at this because the only thing I understand when I'm watching a soccer game, the only thing I understand is say goal.
Dude, you muted yourself again. Rick gets so excited he mutes himself. It's amazing. He's an IT guy that can't run IT. Just want to point that out.
You know anybody?
All right, I have no more words.
Okay, we're gonna wind down here. Wow. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday. You can watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged or facebook.com/MSP Unplugged. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, hit that notification button to be notified whenever a new episode is available. You can also take us on the go. We're on your favorite podcast apps. That's Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as others. For Sean, Karla, and we'd like to thank you for listening today, and we'll see you next time on MSP Unplugged.
Thank you.